Very good morning, all of you. Now, today onwards, we'll discuss about the internship on Linux and AWS. So, before starting the internship, we required some prerequisite thing. Okay, not for actual programming knowledge, but we required some prerequisite thing as a software. So, today we'll discuss how we'll achieve that goal and how we'll complete this course within a time. So see, to complete this course, we required a certain operation. So for example, first we required a Linux. Without Linux, we cannot able to complete this task. Okay. So for that Linux, we have two options. We can do the operation by using the local VMware. We'll install the operating system on VMware and we'll do the practical. And second, we have an option of AWS. Now we need to do the task of AWS also. So for that we require a AWS account. Okay. So today itself we'll discuss about how we'll set up the local VMware, how we'll install the operating system, and later on we'll create an account of AWS. Okay. So for example, those person have their laptop or desktop as Windows. So we can access AWS account by using Windows also, and we can access by account Linux also. Okay, so I will show you both the terms. I will access the Windows access. I will access the AWS account through Windows and Linux. The main purpose is we require to use a Linux machine. Okay, so when we talk about the Linux machine, we have lots of flavors are available. For example, just I will show you over here. So the Ubuntu is available, Fedora is available, Red Hat is available. So certain kinds of flavors are available. When we call the Linux, Linux is nothing but open source operating system. Okay, so in that some paid operating systems are available, but majorly the Linux operating systems are open source. What does it means? What is the meaning of open source? Okay, so just the meaning of open source is nothing but free to use, free to and free to or just contributor, we can say that configure. So that term called as a open source. So when we talk about that, we have Fedora as a open source. Okay, we get the free license of Fedora. We get the Ubuntu as a open source. We get the CentOS as a open source. Okay, we get the Kali Linux for hacking purpose. It is used Kali Linux as open source. And when we talk about the paid operating systems, in that Red Hat is there. Okay, so these are the types of Linux. So we'll do the operation on Ubuntu because it is a very lightweight operating system, open source operating system, and that operating system we can do the lots of operations. Okay, so when we talk about the Linux, we can execute the same command on Fedora, we can execute the same command on CentOS, we can execute the same command on Kali, even we can execute the same command on Red Hat. ऐसा नहीं होता है कि just we learn about how to update the system, just we learn about how to create a folder, just we learn about how to create a file, and that knowledge will be applicable for the all Linux type. Okay, that knowledge will be applicable for the all Linux type. Certain changes are available. For example, if you want to install, if you want to update, like that stuff only changeable in the other operating system. So for example, Fedora contains some other technique, Red Hat contains some other technique, Ubuntu contains some other technique. Okay, so these families we require. So before starting the actual implementation, or before starting the actual training, we need to install that VMware. Either we can use VMware or either we can use VirtualBox, Oracle VirtualBox, or directly we can access the AWS account. So these things we required. So just for today's lecture, we'll discuss how we will access this. Okay, so for that, just open the Google. I will show you the certain steps. So we will use the VMware. VMware is a very useful software. We'll use that VMware instead of that VirtualBox because VirtualBox का ना थोड़ा सा UI जो होता है user interface थोड़ा सा harder है as compared to the VMware. So we'll do the VMware. Okay. So first of all, to install that VMware, we'll visit the website, and that just visit the Google website. In that, click download VMware. I have that applications, but just I will show you where we can download it. So download VMware. So this one is the official website of VMware. Click on that VMware website. Okay, so in that VMware Workstation Pro is available. So here we get the Workstation 16 Pro for Windows, Workstation 16 Pro for Linux. So we'll install this. So click on that and the application will be downloaded. So just I will show you. Click on that. A certain application will be downloaded. Here I will pause that or just I will cancel that because I have that application. Okay, so just you can download it from the VMware options, VMware website. So this is your first step. Just I will show you how will install the VMware steps. See, ऐसा assume कर रहा हूँ. I assume that you don't know about the Linux, you don't know about the AWS. So from the scratch we will start. At the end of that, you can able to perform a lots of operation on the Linux administration. Along with we can do lots of practicals on AWS. You can create your own virtual private cloud at the end of this internship. Okay, so do one thing, just attend lecture regularly. So you will get the brief idea, and once the lecture will be completed, I will upload that current lecture on YouTube channel. I will share that link also. So you can watch that video repeatedly and you can upgrade your knowledge. Okay. And that video is applicable, available in any time. Okay. So you can watch that video repeatedly also. So you can upgrade your knowledge. So first, VMware, that first step was download. Second step, install. Okay. So now we downloaded that application. So where I have that download in the my folder. So D drive, in that I have all OS backup. In that section VMware Player 16 I have downloaded already. So now we'll trying to install it. Right click on that, run as an administrator. Click on the yes. We require to do the practical. Okay, for example, I want to create a folder, I want to create some editor, I want to create some files. We require a Linux operating system. So for that, just we are doing the setup. So Linux workstation, click on the next, accept the agreement, click on the next. Okay, so just click on that add VMware workstation console toolpath. यहाँ checkbox पे click करना है, otherwise कुछ भी नहीं change करना है. Where we need to install that, we will install it on C drive as it is. हम C drive पे ही install करेंगे. Click on that next. So check for the update, uncheck this. Join for the VMware customer, we don't need that. Uncheck this. So here we get the shortcuts on desktop on startup menu. So make it as it is, click on the next and install it. This is the way by using that we can install the VMware. For VMware, we require to use also OS. So now the whole operation will be performed by using the Ubuntu. You can do on the Kali Linux, we can do on the Debian, we can do on the CentOS also. Don't worry about that. But for the practice purpose, at the completion of course, we will use the Ubuntu. Okay. प्रैक्टिस पर्पज के लिए हम Ubuntu यूज करेंगे. And once we complete the all knowledge regarding the what we say Linux administrator and AWS, later on we can switch on the Ubuntu, sorry, Fedora, CentOS. I will show you what is the difference. Just there is a little bit difference is there. Okay, so I will show you. Then by using that you can create the same operations on different OS. Now it's trying to install the drivers. Once this application will be installed, it took some time. Once this application will be installed, the next step is third number step, download OS. Approx size will be near about 1.5 GB. You will download the Ubuntu OS. Just I will show you both the options. We'll do the same operation on local VMware and we'll do the same operation on AWS account. In that we required only certain things. Okay, but to activate this account we required for 24 hours to 48 hours. So ये दोनों पता होना चाहिए आपको. And the size of that VM appear near about 180 MB. नेक्स्ट वी नीड टू डाउनलोड द ओएस, Ubuntu OS. सो ये आपके ऊपर होता है कि आपका ओएस कौन सा है, आपका आर्किटेक्चर कौन सा है. डज वी हैव x86 architecture, does we have 64 architecture? That means depending on your hardware you can decide which operating system we need to download. Okay, just I will show you how will to check. So open the my computer. So this one is my Windows 10. So that's why here we get this PC. If it is Windows 7, then we get the my computer. Otherwise, we'll get this PC. Right click on that this PC. Click on the properties. Here we get the hardware related information. See, I have 12 GB of RAM. I have i5 processor and I have the system architecture as 64-bit. That means whenever I trying to download the operating system, at that time we need to download as a 64-bit. So it is a mandatory. We need to download the operating system as a 64-bit. So आपके पास अगर 32-bit है तो download OS 32-bit. Otherwise you can download the 64-bit. I will check. Just I will revise this. Click on the this PC, right click and click on the properties. You will get the hardware information. 64. Check out does our application is installed. Now it's trying to install. So at the time of installation just we'll download the OS where we can download. The next step is download operating system. Third, download OS. Click on the tab, open the Google and download. Here is an official website ubuntu.com. Click on that. Accept all visit sites. So here one is a latest operating system 20.4. Click on the download. Certain OS will be download. We require a ISO image. Okay, the size will be at 29 GB, 2.9. So I have that, so I will cancel it. Okay, अगर आपके पास 32 bit है, so download 32 bit 32 bit OS. So just download Ubuntu 32 bit. You click on that OS. Here we get the option. I will share the link. Don't be confused. Download Ubuntu 16 bit download करो. So here we get this link and desktop image download करना है, desktop image. If your architecture do one thing, download 16 bit operating system. So यहाँ आप download कर सकते हैं. If you have 16 bit, if you have 13 bit, 32 bit, then you can download. Use this website. ये website use करना है. Okay, इससे आपको download करना है. So just check out. It took some time. Even though for the installation it took some more time. So within a time we will do the operations. For the today purpose, we will just do the installation part. Once the installation will be completed from day after tomorrow, we will start the actual implementation of the Linux. Right now I have that OS. Just I will show you where is that. This PC, D drive, that all OS backup. In that I have that Ubuntu. See, Ubuntu desktop 64-bit is available. Okay, so you can download 16 Ubuntu 16 version as a 32-bit if your architecture is a 32-bit. If your architecture is a 64-bit, still you can download it. The first time installation it took some time. See how VMware work. I will show you, so you will get the idea regarding that. Right now, so see this one is my computer. in that computer I have a Windows 10. Windows 10. When I trying to install the VMware inside that, when I trying to install VMware inside the Windows 10, then it will create one hardware. So earlier I have the hardware of certain points. So see, assume that I have a hardware of 12 GB of RAM, 12 GB of RAM, and 4 core. 4 core is nothing but 4 core is nothing but I have i5 processor, i5 processor, and 256 GB RAM, 256 GB hard disks. Okay, I have HDD. This one is my configuration. So whenever we install the VMware, right now it's installing the driver. That means what? It will create the hypervisor. It's trying to create the hypervisor. So इसके अंदर क्या होता है? When I trying to create the hypervisor or install the hypervisor, in that inside that I can create my hypervisor. So inside that I can host the multiple VMs, can host the multiple virtual machines. I know that I have the Windows 10 in that. So on that particular hardware, I can install the Ubuntu. This I will show you. I can install the Ubuntu operating system. I can able to install the Red Hat. Are the nothing but VMs are there. Okay. They can use the shared hardware. So here is virtual machine 1, VM1. This one is VM2. They all uses the hardware of existing Windows 10. So ये actual operation perform होता है. See where installation will be finished. Click on the finish. Now we did the step of installation of VMware. Now we also downloaded the VM ISO image. Okay, assume that this image is downloaded and which will be stored in a drive. Now we'll install the OS. Install the which OS we are trying to install? We are installing the Ubuntu OS. Okay. Now how we'll do that? So for that, just open the VMware. Here option is created. Desktop option is also created and startup menu options also created. See, click on that. So this one is a VMware. See here we get the message. See this one is a paid software, but for non-commercial use it is a free. VMware Workstation is a paid software, but for non-commercial, but for student purpose, or we can say that for non-commercial use, we get the free. So open that, click on that. So now we will create our first virtual machine. In the diagram, I have already shown that this one is my hardware, and we can create a multiple virtual machines on Windows. Okay, once we install the VMware, click on that. So first of all, according to diagram, we will create the Ubuntu VM machine. So click on the new virtual machine. Now we get the three options over here. First one is install from the disk, install from the disk image, and I will install the operating system later. So we will choose third number option. What is the reason behind that? First of all, we will set the configuration. We will set the hardware. Okay. Once we set the hardware, we can install that operating system. That means how much amount of RAM is required, how much amount of space is required, how much amount of processor we require. So we need to configure that. Click on the next. Here we need to install which operating system. These are the flavors are available: Microsoft Windows, Linux, other in that Mac OS is also available. So we will install Ubuntu 14.64. Click on the next. Here if you want to change the name, you can change. Otherwise you can make it as it is. So here I will use SYCSC for that Ubuntu we required to install. Now what location we need to install? अब आपको चेक करना है कि आपके पास स्पेस कहाँ अवेलेबल है. So in the this PC in 40 GB C drive is available, 52 GB D drive is available. So what should I do? I will install this on D drive. Okay. So यहाँ browse करना है. Click on the browse option and go to the this PC. D पे जाइए and here we'll create a new folder Linux AWS Linux plus AWS OS. Okay. See, in D drive Linux plus AWS OS, we can install that operating system inside that. Okay. So when I trying to install the operating system, that means what? A certain files will be created inside the D drive. So आपको choose करना है कि आपके पास space कहाँ है, उसके अंदर ही store करना है. Click on the next. What space we required? We required a 30 GB. We required a 30 GB. Here we get two options: store virtual disk in single file, split virtual disk into multiple files. इसमें difference क्या होता है? See, when I store in a single disk, when I store in the single disk, that means a particular disk contains files. इसके अंदर एक ही Ubuntu file है. Okay, this one is that disk contains only single file of Ubuntu. When I use to multiple files, so in that case क्या होता है? Assume that this one is a disk that contains a copy of your Ubuntu, splitted Ubuntu. So ऐसे copies होते हैं इसके अंदर. That means that file will be broken into the pieces. अगर ये स्प्लिट करते हो तो ये फाइल ऐसे ब्रोकन होते हैं, कुछ भी डिफरेंस नहीं होता है, बट मेजरली आप स्प्लिट करते हो तो पर्टिकुलर फाइल अगर खराब भी होती है तो पर्टिकुलर पार्ट विल बी रिप्लेस. डिस्क खराब होती है तो वी कैन नॉट एबल टू रिप्लेस, सो दैट्स व्हाई दे आर यूजिंग. तो स्प्लिट करते हो तो ऐसा यूज होता है, उबुंटू में सिंगल करते हो तो ऐसा. सो विल डू व्हाट, सिंगल ही करते हैं हम, सिंगल फाइल विल बी क्रिएटेड. आप डेमो पर्पज के लिए स्प्लिट करके देखो, आपके अंदर स्प्लिट 1 स्प्लिट 2 स्प्लिट 3 ऐसे मल्टीपल 1 GB या 2 GB के पार्ट्स क्रिएट हो जाएंगे. Click on the next. Now the hardware will be allocated. By default, hardware will be allocated. See, in that you can check 30 GB will be space. We given that memory will be available 4 GB. It allocates to CPU. So we need to configure it by using customized hardware. Click on that. I have 12 GB of RAM. Among that, just I will specify 8 GB RAM. आपके ऊपर है, आपके पास अगर 4 GB है, then you can give 2 GB. If you have a 6 GB, then provide 4 GB. If you have 8 GB, then provide 6 GB. If you have 12 GB, then provide up to 8 GB. Okay. So here I have given that random access memory. Processor, I have 4 processors. See, if you have a i3 and i5, you have a 4 processor. Among that, you need to select. So I will give only 2 processor. 2 processor required for the Windows 8, 10, and 2 processor for the Ubuntu. I will check on this virtualization. If you want to do the virtualization on that, click on that. Adapter type NAT is there. So from the Windows will accept the network address translation. That means I can access the internet on that virtual machine. And by default जितने भी options है वही रखेंगे. Here we have options CD and DVD. In that we need to provide a path of ISO image. यहाँ ऑटो डिटेक्ट है, अगर आपके पास फिजिकल ड्राइव है तो आप डायरेक्टली ऑटो डिटेक्ट कर सकते हैं, बट आई विल सजेस्ट यूज ISO फाइल. यहाँ से आपको पाथ देना है उबुंटू का, कहाँ रखा है आपने. क्लिक ऑन दैट. सो वी पोस्टेड ऑन द डी ड्राइव. डी ड्राइव के अंदर मैंने ऑल OS बैकअप रखा है. इन दैट आई हैव द Ubuntu 20. क्लिक ऑन दैट. After that, close. So now set configuration. See, earlier RAM was 4 GB, now it is 8 GB near about. And finish the setup. Once we finish, यहाँ लेफ्ट साइड में आपको क्या दिखेगा, Ubuntu 64 is available. Now just we did the configuration. Now we need to do the setup. So setup करने के लिए राइट क्लिक करो और पावर ऑन करो. Now it's trying to install that. I don't want any update. Remind me later. It took some time. So we did the installation of OS also. ये steps भी follow करने हैं. So simultaneously we need to create a AWS account also. So just it We'll check the disk. For first time installation, it took some near about half hour. First time installation का half hour लेता है. अब see, depending on you, if you have less data, internet data, so you can use the another method AWS. So in that, if you want to host one machine, that means if you want to create one virtual machine, it took only 10 minutes. But वही अगर आप यहाँ से करते हो तो it need half an hour for first time installation. तो आपके ऊपर डिपेंड है कि आपको क्या करना है. See here we get the left corner message. यहाँ लेफ्ट कॉर्नर में मैसेज आता है. शो यू. अब ये मेरा कर्सर दिखाई दे रहा है आपको. व्हेन आई क्लिक ऑन दैट सेंटर, तो मैं इसके वीएम के अंदर गया अभी. ओके, यहाँ से बाहर आना है तो मुझे कंट्रोल अब once we enter inside that, we cannot able to take outside cursor. So for that, use control and alt. जैसे भी आप कंट्रोल alt करते हो तो ये बाहर आ सकते हैं. OS is loading. Now see, we get the message here. In that, we'll click on the try Ubuntu and install Ubuntu. Okay, so we'll click on the install Ubuntu for one-time installation. So click on the install Ubuntu. It will ask for the detect keyboard. Automatically it will be detect. Otherwise it will show the message over here कि कौन सा type का ये है आपका keyboard. So we need to enter like that all words A, B like that. U random words generate होंगे वहाँ से आपको detect करना है. Click on the continue. Here we did the normal installation. Uncheck this update. We don't require any update. Uncheck this. मिनिमम इंस्टॉलेशन में क्या होता है कि यूआई नहीं मिलता है आपको. जस्ट वी गेट द टर्मिनल. बाय यूजिंग दैट टर्मिनल वी कैन लॉग इन इनटू दैट सिस्टम, बट वी रिक्वायर अ नॉर्मल इंस्टॉलेशन. क्लिक ऑन द कंटिन्यू. Now it will ask for the erase disk. Okay, so do that operation inside VMware only. Do not directly do the installation of Ubuntu. Okay, so it will ask for the erase disk. अब हमने जो 30 GB स्पेस दिया है ना, तो इसका डिस्क इरेज करने के लिए पूछ रहा है. So erase that disk and install now. It will automatically created the partitions. ये partition के बारे में हम पढ़ने वाले हैं. How we'll create our own partition, how we'll format that. Okay, so by default when we click that, automatically the partition will be created. Click on the continue. जैसे विंडोज के अंदर होता है ना partitions, C drive, D drive, like that the partitions will be created. Now it will ask for the time or what we say zone. So here it will selected the Kolkata as a zone. Click on the continue. अगर नहीं करता है तो ये मैप में आपको एंटर करना पड़ेगा. Now it will ask for your computer name. So here I will use my computer name as my name. Okay, this one is your computer name. So use password. Here I will use a red hat. You can use your own password और वही password आपको याद रखना है. Okay, so here I will provide the red hat and click on the continue. It start the copying files. Now it's start the installation. So now ये installation start हो गया है. Near about it required half an hour to do the installation. Once the installation will be completed, you will get the message. Okay. So installation जैसे ही खत्म हो जाएगा ये message देगा. So here we did the installation. Now वन के अंदर हमने जैसे देखा था कि फॉर इंस्टेंट इंटर्नशिप वी रिक्वायर्ड दिस टू थिंग्स. ओके, दिस वन इज ऑप्शन वन, दिस वन इज ऑप्शन टू. So we did the option one. Now we're trying to implement the option two. But for option two, make a note of that we required 24 hours to 48 hours to activate that account. Today itself will activate it. So आपको पता चलेगा कैसे होता है. Go to the browser. नाउ इट विल टुक सम टाइम. इसे बैकग्राउंड में चलने देते हैं, ये थोड़ा सा टाइम लगेगा इस इंस्टॉलेशन के लिए. एंड इन दैट टाइप गूगल. यस, यू नीड टू क्रिएट एन अकाउंट. अकाउंट क्रिएट करना है, दैट्स इट. और इंस्टॉलेशन के पार्ट्स जो भी है मैं कल दिखाऊंगा. आई विल शेयर द वीडियोस सो यू कैन क्रिएट दैट ओन अकाउंट. इवन AWS अकाउंट क्रिएट करने का वीडियो तो अभी ये मैं अपलोड ही कर दूंगा. सो यू विल गेट दैट आइटम. सो टाइप AWS, टाइप आउट AWS console login. We need to type AWS console login. Okay. So this one is AWS management console. Click on that. स्टार्टिंग में ही हम दोनों एक्सेस कर रहे हैं. AWS का भी अकाउंट क्रिएट कर रहे हैं और लिनक्स का भी कर रहे हैं. See, those students have their login to the local VMware system, so they can access this AWS console. यहाँ click on the login back. On that login back. And in the bottom we have an option. See, create new AWS account. I have that already account on AWS. This one is a create new AWS account. Click on that AWS account. Now we need to set the certain details. यहाँ आपको details enter करने पड़ेंगे. These are the 5 steps. Among that 1 to 5 steps are there. So just I will show you. I will create here. First of all we need to enter the email address. So here I will enter my email address. Later on we need to set the password according to rules and regulation. Okay, which rules and regulation? Uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and non-numeric. So according to that you need to set the password. That will be the name of account. I will set my name of account as my name. Okay, so you can set by name. So this one is a first step. ये आपकी first step रहेगी. So click on that step second. I will check for the security. We need to type as what mentioned in the captcha. DWXFSP. That. Okay, so ये error क्यों आ रहा है फिर से? Because this account is email already exists. Okay, so that's why we get that error. So we need to create the another. So I will check. Does we have that email ID? So just I will check. Now I set the email ID. Now it will ask for the next step. It will ask for the information के बारे में पूछा है. What type of account you need? Do you want a business account or personal? We'll select on the personal account. We'll fill the detail. You can fill your details. Phone number, region, select your region as India. You need to add the address. Address में आप only just आप belong कहाँ करते हो वहाँ का ही एड्रेस ऐड कर दो. एड्रेस ऐड नहीं करना. सिटी, स्टेट, महाराष्ट्र. याद रखना है आपको कि इसके अंदर जो भी डिटेल फिल करे तो आपको जस्ट पूरा डिटेल एड्रेस नहीं मेंशन करना है. जस्ट आप डिस्ट्रिक्ट का नाम एंटर करो. ओके. स्टेप 2, यूज पर्सनल अकाउंट. नेक्स्ट. स्टेप 2 completed. Now it will ask for the credit card or debit card. It must be जो debit card है that contains the visa. Okay. Visa और master card will be applicable. Make a note of that कि इससे आपके अकाउंट से ओनली ₹2 कट होंगे बिकॉज सर्विस एंड पेड सर्विस. ओके. सो इसके अंदर बिल्स भी आएंगे बट वी नीड नॉट पे टू दैट बिल्स और ऑटो डेबिट भी इसके अंदर से होता नहीं है. जस्ट फॉर दैट अकाउंट फॉर लर्निंग पर्पज. ओके. विल डू व्हाट? We'll create the account. For that, here we'll enter the details. Okay. So here I will add my credit card details. We'll check as our VM is executing. Is it I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In case if I am not audible, let me know that. Installation चालू है तो थोड़ा सा सिस्टम हैंग हो रहा है because right now I don't have enough space to do the operation. It will ask for the credit card details, so I will enter my credit card details or debit card details over here. Just so after that, do information. Here will ask for the PAN card. Okay, so ये PAN card के लिए पूछेगा. Even if you have a PAN card, we'll click on the no. आपके पास अगर PAN card रहेगा तो भी आपको यहाँ no ही click करना. Click on the verify and continue. Check. Now my account will be debited 2 rupees. Account 2 rupees debit कर लेगा. Or after that, let's see, particular account will be debited for 2 rupees. So I will enter 179563. So my account, particular account will be debited. Once we confirm the payment, after that, 24 hours, our account will be activated. Okay, still steps 2 remaining. Okay, those steps are remaining. I will do that. So issue आ रहा है. No, the payment method will not name given inside the use another card. Wait, use another card. 523650. Don't have a PAN. Now the OTP will be generated. ये कार्ड याद रखना, आपके पास वीजा ही होना चाहिए, मास्टर कार्ड ही होना चाहिए. Confirm the identity. Once we did the payment, we need to identity confirm by using a text SMS or voice call. आप दोनों में से चूज कर सकते हो. That I will suggest text call ही कीजिए, तो मैसेज आ जाएगा. Here type the India 91, your phone number 95, जो भी आपका नंबर है आप एंटर करो. कैप्चा also Z84Y7 yes. Send SMS. One text message will be appear in your mobile, and after that just physically we need to verify our account and complete that step. Okay, so here we get the message because lots of accounts I have created on my credit card. So by using this way you can create your own account. Okay, मेरा अकाउंट से पेमेंट तो डेबिट हो चुका है, बट अर्लियर नियर अबाउट मैंने 4 to 5 अकाउंट्स क्रिएट किए थे एक ही सेम कार्ड पे, तो दैट्स व्हाई आई गॉट दैट एरर. ओके, सो डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट. जैसे भी आप यहाँ करते हो ना, तो आप अकाउंट डायरेक्टली यहाँ से साइन इन कर सकते हो. तो इसमें साइन इन में आपको यूजर नेम क्या रहेगा, आपका जो ईमेल आईडी रहेगा दैट विल बी योर यूजर नेम, एंड द पासवर्ड विल बी आपने जो एंटर किया है. जस्ट आई विल शो यू AWS कंसोल लॉगिन. जो मेरा एग्जिस्टिंग अकाउंट है वो मैं दिखाता हूँ. So you will get that in you will get that like that AWS login. So ऐसे AWS login मिलेगा आपको. Okay, so click on the sign in. जैसे भी साइन इन करते हो ना आप, जैसे लास्ट स्टेप आप फिजिकली वेरीफाई करते हो आपका मोबाइल आपकी आइडेंटिटी, तो इन दैट केस हियर वी गेट द रूट ईमेल आईडी. तो रूट ईमेल आईडी आपका जो ईमेल आईडी रहेगा वही रहेगा. क्लिक ऑन द नेक्स्ट. अब कैप्चा एंटर करना पड़ेगा ST3CDX. Okay, make a note of that. Whenever we're trying to log in into the AWS, we need to check this captcha. After that, we need to enter the. इससे कैसे एक्सेस करना है, विल डू द प्रैक्टिकल लैटर. ओके, इससे हम कैसे एक्सेस कर सकते हैं ये मैं आपको प्रैक्टिकल लैटर ऑन बताऊंगा. ओके, सो डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट, जस्ट क्रिएट योर अकाउंट योरसेल्फ. So this one is AWS console. Okay, so in that lots of services are available. Among that we will perform services. इसके अंदर से हम services perform करेंगे. ये मेरा अकाउंट है, जैसे लॉगिन होने के बाद में आपको दिखेगा. बट व्हेन आई ट्राइंग टू क्लिक ऑन द EC2, जब आप फर्स्ट टाइम करोगे तो आप यहाँ टाइप करना EC2. ओके, जस्ट वी डू नॉट वांट टू डू द प्रैक्टिकल बट क्लिक ऑन दैट EC2. तो अब जब फ्रेश अकाउंट क्रिएट करोगे ना तो आपको यहाँ रिसोर्सेस नहीं दिखेंगे. EC2 is nothing but elastic compute cloud, that means virtual machine. आप ये वर्चुअल मशीन के लिए आपको नहीं दिखेगा इन दैट केस. ओके, तो आपको वेट करना पड़ेगा 24 आवर्स के लिए. आपको वेट करना पड़ेगा 24 आवर्स के लिए. once the account is set up, we'll do the practical. How will access the AWS account from Windows, how will access the AWS account from the Ubuntu. ये दोनों के दोनों स्टेप्स हम देखेंगे. Okay, so this is the way to create the account. So in that we did the operation how to create AWS. If you have any problem regarding this account creation, let me know. Just ping me a message on my WhatsApp number. I will solve that query. Okay. So ये account आपको आज ही create करना है. अगर कुछ problem आता है तो मुझे बताओ. So इसके अंदर याद रखना है कि you required a card. Which card? You required a credit card or debit card. दोनों कार्ड चलेंगे. So in that डेबिट कार्ड और क्रेडिट कार्ड कौन से होने चाहिए? मास्टर कार्ड होना चाहिए. मास्टर रुपए कार्ड नहीं चलता है. मास्टर कार्ड और वीजा कार्ड. बिकॉज ये आउटसाइड इंडिया ट्रांजेक्शन है तो आपको मास्टर कार्ड और वीजा कार्ड ही लगेगा. ओके, दिस इज फॉर AWS. now check out does we install that OS. हमारा OS इंस्टॉल हो चुका है क्या देखते हैं एक बार. now still it's trying to install. फर्स्ट टाइम के लिए ही बहुत टाइम लेता है. ये अबाउट हाफ एन आवर लेता है. once we complete that installation, so later on ये नहीं लगेगा इसका. These are the steps to create the account. And up to 11 o'clock, I will share this video. Okay, so you can watch that video and you can do the task. Attend the daily lectures regular basis. Watch the video repeatedly so you will get that idea. And even I will share the what what we say, report card. Okay, in that also you need to write a daily task. So for example, day one, what you learn. So what are the steps to implement that task? Day two, what you learn, how will do that task. Day three, what you learn. Like that stuff, you need to maintain the task. So even you can create the soft copy, or even we can create the you can create the hard copy. ओके, सो ऐसा नहीं है कि हार्ड कॉपी ही चाहिए, सॉफ्ट कॉपी भी आप क्रिएट कर सकते हैं. आई विल शेयर द पीडीएफ फाइल, यू कैन कन्वर्ट दैट पीडीएफ फाइल इनटू द वर्ड फाइल and later on you can do the operations.
सर,
Yes,
तुम्ही नंतर आम्हाला आमच्याकडून हे पण तयार करून घेणार का रिपोर्ट?
yes, on daily basis. Just I will show you how you can create the report. I will send the demo options for that, like kaise banana hai, how will create that report. So report is nothing but just at the end of that we can create our project. So before that, how will create the report? That means day one में आपने क्या किया है. For example, today we'll learn about how to create the AWS account. Today we'll learn about how to create the VMware, how to install the VMware. So just you need to mention it. So you have two options. You can mention by handwriting भी mention कर सकते हो. Otherwise you can create online document. Word file जो होती है ना, वैसे उसके अंदर भी आप mention कर सकते हो. It is not mandatory, but
ओके सर.
इसके अंदर ये important है कि आप mention कैसे करते हो रिपोर्ट. आपको स्नैपशॉट्स इसके अंदर इंसर्ट इंसर्ट करना पड़ता है. जस्ट आई विल शो यू, सेंड द डेमो फाइल आल्सो. एक डेमो फाइल भी सेंड करता हूँ तो आपको एक आइडिया आ जाएगी. इज इट ओके?
सर,
येस.
आम्ही आजचं तर काहीच नाही लिहून घेतलं, मग तुम्ही ते रिपीट सेंड करणार का आम्हाला?
आता
पीडीएफ वगैरे काय
मी
असेल ते.
प्रत्येक वेळेस काय करणार आहे की जसं माझं सेशन संपेल ना, सो अप टू 11 o'clock, ओके, जस्ट मी ह्या लेक्चर रेकॉर्ड केलेला आहे. आई विल शेअर दैट रिकॉर्डेड वीडियो लिंक टू यू. आपको जैसा भी टाइम मिलता है, जैसे आपके रेगुलर लेक्चर्स खत्म होते हैं, वॉच दैट वीडियो. ओके, सी इंस्टॉलेशन इज कंप्लीटेड. वॉच दैट वीडियो, create your own notes. I will suggest, I can share my own notes, but still अगर आपको कुछ नॉलेज एक्स्ट्रा चाहिए तो आप खुद के नोट्स क्रिएट करो. ओके, अभी ये जो मैंने लेक्चर आपको जो
सर,
पढ़ाया है, लाइक इंस्टॉलेशन वीएमवेयर वगैरह, ये पूरा लेक्चर रिकॉर्ड हो रहा है. एंड दैट लेक्चर विल बी अपलोडेड ऑन माय यूट्यूब चैनल. आई विल शेयर दैट लिंक सो यू कैन वॉच दैट वीडियो एंड यू कैन क्रिएट योर ओन नोट्स. ओके,
ओके सर.
तर प्रत्येक लेक्चरचं असं नाहीये की मी आज शिकवलं आणि संपलं. की इन फ्युचर हे लिनक्स आहे. लिनक्स मध्ये आणि एडब्ल्यूएस मध्ये काय, जर तुम्ही प्रॅक्टिस मध्ये असाल ना तर तुम्हाला खूप युजफुल आहे. जर तुम्ही प्रॅक्टिस मध्ये नसाल तर मग तुम्हाला प्रॉब्लेम येतो. आणि फर्स्ट टाइम जेव्हा तुम्ही ऑपरेशन परफॉर्म करता ना, तर तुम्हाला व्हिडिओ बघायची गरज असते किंवा रिपीट करायची गरज असते. सो फॉर दॅट रिझन जस्ट आय हॅव रेकॉर्डेड दॅट व्हिडिओ. आणि आजचाच रेकॉर्ड नाही, इथून पुढचे जे कंटिन्यू लेक्चर्स होतील आपले 20, 25, 30 टू बी. ओके, दॅट विल बी, I will provide that video. Just you can watch that video, you can create your own notes, you can create the report, and at the end of that, we will create one project also. Okay.
हॅलो सर.
Yes.
सर ड्रॉप बॉक्स काय असतो?
ड्रॉपबॉक्स सिमिलरली VMware सारखं एक ॲप्लिकेशन आहे ज्याच्यामध्ये आपण VMs इन्स्टॉल करू शकतो किंवा ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम इन्स्टॉल करू शकतो. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, Windows is there, I have Windows operating system, or I have Linux operating system. I can install the Dropbox, and inside that I can create the VM virtual machine.
आणि सर आपण जेव्हा नवीन काय इन्स्टॉल करायचं असेल तर आपल्याला तो कोड टाकून इन्स्टॉल करावा लागतो ना, तर सुडो
Yes,
एपीटेकेट
yes, कोड टाकून करावं लागतं.
ते काय असतं सर नेमकं? नाही सर म्हणजे
त्याच्यापेक्षा
हं.
हे चांगलं आहे VMware.
अच्छा अच्छा सर. ओके.
ओके, सर आपण इन्स्टॉलेशन केलं तेव्हा युजर नेम अरविंद होतं. सो हिअर आय विल एंटर द पासवर्ड. मी रेड हॅट दिलेलं, तुम्ही इन्स्टॉलेशन करताना तुम्ही काय पासवर्ड देतात ते एंटर करा.
ओके ओके सर, थँक्यू.
So now installation is completed. जसं installation झालं, just I will check the login window. And after that, I will use one command to check the latest configuration of my OS. Okay, so now OS is successfully installed. Here click on the Windows Show application and type terminal. ओके, आता आपल्याला जे काम करायचं नाही ते ह्याच्यावरच करायचं आहे, टर्मिनलवर. Click on that terminal. So inside that, just use lsb-release -a. lsb_release -a. So this is the command to check the latest information of your Ubuntu. See what Ubuntu you install 20.4. Okay, so like that you can do the operations. So यहाँ तक आना चाहिए. Each and every student today itself download the OS. ये local installation और account आपका create होना चाहिए. From day after tomorrow we'll start the actual implementation. आपको बहुत interest आएगा and I will share the everything videos वगैरह, तो बहुत interest आएगा. But do the practice on regular basis so you will get the benefit. Okay. So once we did the operation by using this command, we can check the release. कौन सा OS है, अब 16 इंस्टॉल करते हैं तो यहाँ 16 आएगा. And once do the operation, जितने भी operation से आप perform करोगे, so click on that option and shut down your guest. यहाँ आपको ये याद से shut down करना है इसे. Okay, click on shut down. जैसे भी शट डाउन करते हो तो VMware क्लोज हो जाएगा. डायरेक्टली यहाँ से क्लोज नहीं करना है. वैसे करते हो तो एरर्स आ सकते हैं. और फिर से ओपन करना है तो क्लिक ऑन द VMware. ओपन दैट VMware. VMware ओपन. यहाँ क्लिक करना है एंड राइट क्लिक करके पावर ऑन करना है. जैसे पावर ऑन करोगे तो इट टुक 5 minutes to start the OS. Okay, so this is about today's lecture. If you have any query, let me know. We'll discuss about that. So today we did these operations. Okay. Yes, I will stop sharing. I will stop the recording also.